You might love playing Magic Arena, but I can bet there's probably some days that you like it more than others. So I've put together 5 tips on how you can get more enjoyment out of playing Magic Arena and avoid some of the common traps people fall into. Welcome back to Game School Dad with me, Martin. We're looking at 5 tips on how to make sure you enjoy Magic Arena the most that you can. And starting off with tip number 1, you have to remember that this is just a game that we're playing. And I mean that there will be times when you'll win many games in a row, and there will be times when you lose many games in a row too. It happens to everyone, it happens to your other favorite YouTubers, it happens to professional players, it happens to everyone. It definitely happens to me. And it can be frustrating to lose. Sometimes it might make us feel like giving up because we don't seem to be able to win anything. But it's a game. Losing is part of the game. In fact, it's a game where you can only really have one winner and one loser from every match. So if you're winning more than 50% overall, even if you're winning 51% of the games, you're technically doing better than average. So if you find yourself on a losing streak, you can have a look at your deck and think, is there anything I can change? Maybe I could add something which might solve a problem. Maybe the deck has a weakness that's just a little bit too easy for your opponent to take advantage of. Maybe there are some things we can learn from in order to be able to play better or to have a better deck when we come across one of these losing streaks. But then sometimes maybe there isn't. Maybe we've done everything we can and it's just variance and it's just what happens. So if you can keep in mind that it's just a game, we're playing this for enjoyment, not because we have to win every single match, then you can enjoy the game even when you're not winning. In fact, when I'm playing against someone else and I win really easily and really quickly, which happens sometimes, I find those games slightly boring, especially if there's lots of them in a row. And the games where I lose really badly and really quickly and there's nothing I can possibly do about it, they happen quite often too, I don't enjoy them because I feel like the game's pointless. I can't possibly do any better than this. I must be rubbish at this game. It's the games where I'm doing my best, they're doing their best, we both seem to draw good cards, it's back and forth, you're not sure who's going to win. Those are the games that I really enjoy, even if I end up losing them, because they've been more exciting and more enjoyable themselves. So if you find yourself on a losing streak, remember it's just a game, we're playing it for fun, you don't have to win every game. Tip number 2, if you find that the game feels a bit stale and repetitive, which can happen sometimes when you're playing against the same type of deck, like if you play against red aggro 10 times in a row, you're probably going to feel a bit bored of that format of the game. So if you're playing in ranked or you're playing in the standard queue, why don't you try doing some draft events instead? You could go from playing the standard ranked or standard play matches to trying out historic or explorer or brawl or historic brawl. There are so many different formats of the game. If you find that it's getting a bit stale, you can always try a different one and mix it up, make a new deck. If you have wild cards to spend, you can make yourself an entirely new deck type and try playing a different strategy. If you like aggro, try playing control. If you tend to find yourself in mid-range games all the time, maybe find a fun combo and see if you can make it work. There's so many different ways to play Magic, it never has to feel repetitive. So if it does start to feel repetitive for you, maybe you could try something different. Tip number 3, learn different ways to play from other people who know what they're doing. So if you follow other people on YouTube who are experienced players, they might play very differently to you do. They might explain every single move they make and the thought process they go through and the different routes they could take. And by watching this content, you can get a good idea of maybe things you could do to improve your style of play. Maybe there's a combination they use that you never thought of. Maybe they hold off on a spell when you would think that you would want to use every spell you can as soon as possible. Maybe they hold off and do nothing with their turn, and maybe that pays off and works out for them better. So watch how other people play and learn from their thought process as well. It might help you discover new tactics that you want to try for yourself. Tip number 4. If you do spend money on Magic Arena, which you don't have to at all, you can spend no money if you want to on Magic Arena. But if you do spend money on Magic Arena, try to do it responsibly. And by that I mean you don't want to throw all your money into a game and then suddenly have access to every single card and start to feel maybe overwhelmed or bored because you don't really know which direction to take. Sometimes when we work hard and unlock cards one at a time or find new combinations one at a time, we appreciate them more than if you're just given everything at once. And then you have the guilt if you spent lots of money on the game and you happen to not enjoy it next week. You might feel that you've wasted the money and kind of resent the game for it. You don't really want that to happen. That's why I recommend it. If you're going to spend any money on Magic Arena, you might as well try to get the best value out of it you can and spend the least you can to get what you want to get. Because you might already know, if you have any physical cards, paper Magic can be expensive. Magic Arena doesn't have to be. You can enjoy playing this game as a free-to-play player or by spending a very small amount, as much as you can enjoy it by spending $100 on the game every month. Tip number 5. You want to avoid burnout. So you don't want to try to grind too hard at the game and try to get your 15 wins every single day, to try to squeeze the maximum value out of everything, get every extra 25 gold you can and every extra individual card reward you can get from your daily wins or from the mastery pass extra levels. Because the amount of time you're going to be investing in the game by doing that is going to be hours every day. And I don't know how much time you have, but if you spend hours every day playing the game, you're probably going to find burnout sooner or later. Either from finding a losing streak or facing repetitive matches over and over again, or maybe something else. Sooner or later you're going to feel that burnout. So the best way to avoid that is to make sure you take breaks from the game whenever you can. So maybe if you normally get 4 or 5 wins a day, maybe just go for 1 win a day every so often. Yes, you're going to miss out on some gold, and that's okay. You don't have to get every single piece of gold you can out of the game. You could even play once every 3 days and not miss out on any XP for the Mastery Pass, and just miss out on a little bit of gold in a week. So play as much as you want to, but don't feel like you have to get 15 wins every day and suddenly it becomes like hard work rather than fun. It's meant to be fun. So let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you have any tips on how to enjoy playing Magic Arena more? Is there anything that's particularly helped you to get more enjoyment out of the game? I'd love to know what you think, and don't forget you can like this video and subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on any future Magic Arena content. Thanks for watching the video to the end, and I will see you in the next one.